Textile Research Institute, and he is a registered chemist. He obtained his bachelor's and master's degrees in chemistry from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. His master's research on mechanochemical heterogeneous catalysis, it's very technical, in Academia Sinica in Taipei, Taiwan, earned him a US patent and several scientific papers. So we have a very legitimate expert who will be sharing with us. He received the ASEAN Green Soldier Award in 2011 from the ASEAN Academy of Engineering and Technology, and he is a member of the Philippine Integrated Chemists of the Philippines, the Kapisanang Chemica ng Pilipinas, and he's also the National Handloom Weaving Innovation Council head. He is the lead convener of the Technical Committee on Textiles and the Bureau of Product Standards of the Department of Science and Technology. So let's all put our virtual hands and our actual hands together for Director Julius Leaño. Go ahead, Director Julius. So I can see that we also have several Zoom participants. So right here in our chat at the moment, so we have phone-in questions as well. So don't be afraid to also raise your questions. We will have a Q&A, and our moderator will be very happy to help you facilitate that. So let's just give a few minutes to Director Leaño. Just a few technical challenges. So we emerged out of the pandemic, and now we're relearning how to use Zoom again after all our in-person events. So while waiting, I invite you to also say hello to your seatmates. We have as well the Deputy Consul General of Mexico, Mr. Sebastian Galvan, our friend. Also, we have indigenous elders here from the Ojibwe Nation. Not an elder yet, very young. So we have Christy, we have someone from the Dene Nation. So we have a good mix of guests who are here with us right now. We also have our fashion designers who will be teaching tomorrow. And the mom of one of our guest fashion designers, Miss Catherine Dickerson, is a lecturer emeritus of the AU Arts. So she's an expert on weaving and textiles. So Miss Catherine, if you're here, there you go. Yes, so this is your chance to meet Miss Catherine in person, not hybrid. But I don't know if you're going to get extra points if you get on her good side today. So it's going to be a fair competition. So while we're waiting for Director Leaño as well, we'd like to share a little bit about the story behind this event. So when we were preparing for the Philippine Tropical Fabrics Month, we were asking what would be the best way to unite all the fashion industry leaders who are here. So as you can see among yourselves, you have a lot of fashionistas. It's the first time that we organized this big event with everyone involved in the fashion and pageant industry here in Calgary. We also have people joining us all the way from Edmonton. So we have very professional fashion designers, and we also have beginners participating today because we wanted to give an equal opportunity for those who will be joining the Calgary Fashion Challenge. Some of the prizes for the competition also involve the beautiful tinalak pieces from the Tiboli tribe that you have on the table, courtesy of FSE Financial Services. So it's from our honorary consul, Mr. Felix Guerrero at the back, and Ms. Michelle Guerrero. So if you see as well, the one draping at the top, the tinalak fabric, so that's one of the examples of the indigenous weaves made by our dream weavers from the Tiboli tribe. So if you see there's one draped on the roof, and there's a custom that says that each tinalak fabric has a spirit. So you have to ask permission before you're able to cut it. And you have to respect the fabric because the dreams of the weaver are incorporated in that particular textile. Okay na? So without further ado, once again, Director Julius Leaño.
The executive director of the Philippine Philippines Development Council, Mr. Paulo Federico Ramos, our kababayan from Sagada, Mountain Province, Mr. James Ponce, Ms. Ezra Arambuye, Judy Arambuye, and the elders of the Sagada community, our very good friend, Rami Lim, the representative of Gastos Pilipinas, mga kababayan dyan po sa Canada, sa mainit at
weaving circularity in order for us to realize the twofold goal of producing and also of responsible consumption. This year, stitching futures. Stitching is putting together. Stitching is mending. Stitching is embellishment. And we would want to see the near and the not so near future as a multiples of our visions and the multiples of the many alternative futures that we could imagine. Philippine textiles is a wide array of designs and motifs, of iconographies, of stories. This could very well be already within your closets or maybe within your collections. Philippine textiles is a tapestry of our narrative as a people and our collective consciousness as a nation. However, much as I'd want to continue on using and defining it as Philippine tropical fabric, unfortunately, Philippine tropical fabric is defined by law as fabrics that contain at least 5% by weight of natural textile fibers that were produced, spun, woven or knitted, and finished in the Philippines. Unfortunately, a lot of our Philippine weaves are not Philippine tropical fabrics. However, we are happy and we are glad because of the inclusion that we have had, made in the previous years as far as putting and incorporating these Philippine weaves in the consciousness of Philippine textiles and in the consciousness of the Philippine tropical fabric definition. Thus, sometimes it's always almost completely confused with. Republic Act 9242 is that very law that defined Philippine tropical fabric, but it does not restrict or delimit the use of Philippine weaves, thus providing opportunities for us to further explore into. We are targeting the use of Philippine tropical fabric initially for government uniforms because of the captive market that it has for the industry and for our communities. We are looking at about 2 million plantilla positions in government who must be wearing Philippine tropical fabrics for their uniforms. The Philippine Textile Research Institute has been in the forefront in pushing this initiative in the past 2 decades. We are the sole government agency mandated to take care of the research and development, technical services and training, and technology transfer of textiles and allied textile industries. Central to our mandate is knowledge generation, innovation, and diffusion. There are 3 pillars that fuel and provide this a certain direction. One is competitiveness. Competitiveness meaning if ever we do it pretty well. The other is inclusion or inclusivity, that no one would ever be left behind. And of course, the last is anchored on sustainability. On these 3 pillars, we are able to deliver our mandate of research and development, of services and training and technology transfer. The textile industry is part of the greater manufacturing sector in the Philippines. Despite its downfall in the last 3 decades, we are looking at a surge. In fact, it is part of our rebound strategies. Telang Pinoy was coined by no less than the President in his last State of the Nation address. Telang Pinoy is projected to have 3.66% compounded annual growth rate in the next 2 to 3 years. Telang Pinoy is part of our bid to make ourselves relevant in the textile conversations, not just in the Philippines, but in the entire world. Telang Pinoy ranges from production, from handloom woven to machine woven textiles, to knits, to non-wovens, and the many applications of textiles that we could possibly imagine. Telang Pinoy touches lives. Telang Pinoy is part of the employment generation of the creative industries, of our cultural communities, and of our innovations that continuously flow from our research and development institutions. A little Textile 101, for those who might not be familiar. Textiles basically starts with textile fibers. Fibers are either spun or are non-wovens. If they are spun, you produce yarns. The yarns may be woven or knitted to produce the fabrics. Or the textile fibers directly convert into non-wovens, also producing fabrics. But the ingenious part in the textile continuum is the Philippines' ability to be able to convert its raw materials into textile fibers. And we are looking at the endemic abaca Abaca is truly Filipino. It's endemic to the Philippines. But then, we also have banana and pineapples, which are not necessarily planted for the fibers, but are actually planted for the fruit. But because of the ingenious and the ever-enterprising nature of the Filipino, was able to create and generate fibers from banana and from pineapples. Then there came after bamboo, and of course, our very own Philippine silk. Natural textile fiber transformation is at the core of a lot of intellectual properties that we have in the Institute. This is the bedrock of the natural textile development that we have. These natural textiles immediately convert into handloom woven yarns that may already be woven by our indigenous communities and our weaving communities as well. These handloom weaving yarns are not your ordinary pure cotton, or maybe even just your pure silk, but a blend, making it truly Filipino, bearing the insignia that indeed it is from the Philippines. Our approach in providing solutions for the textile industry is anchored in disentangling the textile innovation ecosystem. The textile innovation ecosystem has a lot of pillars: governance, infrastructure, finance, stakeholders, the skills and human capacity, culture, and the market. All of these are directed towards developing innovation ecosystem as a launchpad to textile recovery and textile revitalization. We did this, or we are doing this, through the Frontier program. Frontier stands for fostering the revitalization of nascent textile innovation ecosystems in the regions. It's not Manila-centric, and we're moving away from the central possibilities that indeed only cities could actually provide these materials, but instead working with the regions and working with communities. As of the moment, I'm proud and happy to tell you and report to you that we have already been in touch with 100% of all the regions in the Philippines, and have already gotten in touch and have already projects in 74%, that's about 60 plus provinces of the 84 provinces across the Philippines. Frontier is the launchpad of our bid to make things inclusive, because the work is really intended for the regions. Again, because of the 101 I gave earlier, we now very well know how things are actually being processed. We start with the textile fiber. Textile fibers are crucial. As I mentioned, this is the way by which we distinguish our textiles from the rest of the world. We have either the natural textile fibers, abaca, banana, or piña, or we have bamboo, or we even have silk. All of these are scattered strategically across the Philippines in a multitude of hubs and locations that generates these materials and involves communities in their production. The Natural Textile Fiber Innovation Hub last year was inaugurated, or were inaugurated, in Burauen in Leyte. We also have one in Laguna, and the other one one more in Mindanao. Aside from the natural textile fibers, we are also working with new fibers. New fibers such as the fiber from water hyacinth. Water hyacinth that clogs our drainage and waterways. We also work with bakong, another family of water hyacinth. And lastly, also with saluyot. So if there are any Ilocanos in the group, saluyot is also a good source of natural textile fiber, similar to the barong I am wearing today. Aside from these three new fibers which we have pushed last year, we have also triumphantly did the Bamboo Textiles program, which has a centerpiece in converting bamboo poles, different bamboo varieties that abound in the Philippines, into spinnable fibers that can be made into yarns. This is launched, or was launched, under the brand Kawayan. Kawayan, which technically integrates kawayan and yarns, and making sure that it actually connects with the rest of the industry. Having had launched it in 2023, Kawayan has already found its way in several applications beyond wearables. I'm referring to the accessory sector and even in home textiles. Now, once we have the fibers, what's next? The next part is the fibers must be converted into yarns. Thus, we have located regional yarn production and innovation centers across the Philippines, strategically across the Philippines. The first one was in Miagao, Iloilo. The second one is in Ilagan, Isabela. The third one was inaugurated in November last year in Vintar, Ilocos Norte. The fourth will be inaugurated very soon in Cabacan, North Cotabato. Then there will be one more in Rizal. There will be one more in the Negros Island, hopefully within the year. Aside from the Regional Yarn Production and Innovation Center, we also have located silk innovation hubs strategically across the Philippines to be able to match the silkworm cocoon production across the Philippines. One is in Rizal in Kalinga, the other one is in Negros, then our center is in Misamis Oriental. We are also putting one in Benguet, hopefully in the first quarter of this year, and another one in Antique, and also one in Aklan. That is under the Seda Pilipinas brand. Now, once we have the yarns, what happens next? We have to weave them, assemble them in the fabrics. Thus, we have located different handloom weaving innovation centers and also included the use of natural dyes in this conversation. The regional handloom weaving innovation centers are strategically located across the Philippines. These are not production centers. These are innovation centers, allowing our communities to partake in creative expression and also in the continuous development and product development of their textiles. Through different handlooms, which we also have designed, they are deployed strategically as well in these different hubs, allowing our weavers not just to do it in backstrap looms, but also in upright looms, as we have had experience in Kalinga. The revival of Philippine cotton is crucial as well. Because of the Cotton PH program, we are weaving back cotton, allowing our weavers to take and experience how it is to weave cotton again. We've always been weaving with cotton and polyester, and there's a strong bid for us to go all natural and to, of course, weave our own cotton. Now, with all of these materials in the forefront, we cannot help but protect it. Otherwise, counterfeiting also abounds, as what happened in the case of the Cordillera textiles during the pandemic. Thus, our program and digitalization.